It's Ash from SuperVideos back for another video for The Last of Us on HBO. On this video, we're going to be taking a look at a pretty interesting Easter egg, an Easter egg I like to call right-hand man Easter egg. And this has to do with the voice actors of Tommy and Joel and who they ended up portraying in the TV adaptation. Stay tuned, we'll be right back to break it down. Alright, as always, before we dive into it, smash the like button, subscribe to join our community, and press the bell to be notified when I upload on the channel. With that said, let's dive right into it. Let's talk about the right-hand men of two of the show's villains, Kathleen and David. So first up, let's talk about James, David's right-hand man, who's obviously played by none other than Troy Baker, the voice actor behind Joel in the game. And I think that it's a fitting role for him. Given that David is the religious cult leader of the cannibals, Troy Baker brings a sense of intensity and charm to the character that makes him specifically all that more chilling. Meanwhile, Kathleen's right-hand man is Perry, played by Jeffrey Pierce, the voice actor behind Tommy, Joel's brother. Kathleen is the leader of a revolutionary group from Kansas City called the Hunters, and Perry is her loyal lieutenant. It's interesting to see Jeffrey Pierce in a completely different role from Tommy, but he brings the same level of intensity and emotion to Perry that he did to his original character Tommy from the game. But what makes this casting choice even cooler is the fact that James and Perry are both played by actors who have a history with Joel and Tommy. It's a subtle nod to the game that adds another layer of depth to the characters and their relationships, but it also provides an intriguing alternate perspective into where Joel and Tommy could have ended up if they didn't have the characters that they met along the way that directed them to the right path. In the game, Joel and Tommy are portrayed as the heroes, fighting against the infected and various factions in a post-apocalyptic world. But what if they had taken a different path? What if they had become the right-hand men of the villains instead of the heroes? And I think that it was a clever decision to have both James and Perry have a more reasonable aspect to them and have them be the voice of wisdom when placed next to the actual villains, David and Kathleen's, who are more irrational and act on impulse and more on emotion. And I think by casting the same actors who voiced Joel and Tommy as the right-hand men of the villains, the showrunners are essentially asking these questions. What would have happened if Joel was a villain? What would have happened if Joel was the right-hand man of a villain? And the same sort of scenario with Tommy. And I think that this provides a subtle hint at what could have been. And it gets fans thinking about alternate universes. Obviously, a lot more than the game, because in the game, we didn't really have those types of feelings. At least, not when it comes to part 1 of the game. And I think it's a fascinating concept that makes the story all more intriguing. Additionally, it's a testament to the versatility of the actors themselves. Troy Baker and Jeffrey Pierce are both incredibly talented and capable of playing a wide range of characters. And seeing them play James and Perry, respectively, showcases their range and adds even more depth to their performances. But overall, I think the choice to cast Troy Baker and Jeffrey Pierce as James and Perry in The Last of Us HBO adaptation is a cool Easter egg that not only pays homage to the game, but also provides an interesting alternate perspective on the story. It's a small detail, but it adds a lot to the overall narrative and makes the viewing experience even more enjoyable for fans of the game. And I think that it adds another layer of depth to the characters themselves. And by characters, I mean Joel and Tommy, and also their relationships. Because you kind of start thinking about maybe if Joel didn't have a brother, he would have ended up someone like a James or a David. And similarly, if Tommy didn't have Joel, he would have ended up being someone like Perry. You know what I mean? And obviously, I just thought of this, but we know Tommy was in that position. He was working with the Fireflies, just like Perry was working with the Hunters. So there's a lot of similarities even in that perspective if you think about it, which makes it even more interesting. But that's pretty much everything I wanted to go through in this video. I hope you enjoyed, but I'm definitely interested to know your own thoughts and opinions about this, so share that in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, smash the like button, subscribe to join our community, and press the bell to be notified when I upload on the channel. That's it for this video. See you next time for another super video.